Today, we journey to the land of the pharaohs to uncover the remarkable rise and mysterious fall of one of history's most powerful civilizations, ancient Egypt, a civilization that thrived for over 3 millennia, leaving behind some of the most iconic monuments the world has ever seen. But how did such a mighty empire come to an end? Let's unravel this ancient mystery. Our story begins over 5,000 years ago, along the fertile banks of the Nile River. The river was the lifeblood of Egypt, providing water, food, and a means of transportation. It was here that small farming communities began to thrive, eventually merging into powerful kingdoms. By around 3100 BCE, these early kingdoms were unified by the legendary King Narmer, also known as Menes, marking the birth of the first Egyptian dynasty and the beginning of the early dynastic period. Under Narmer's rule, the once fragmented regions of Upper and Lower Egypt were united, creating a powerful state that laid the foundation for one of the greatest civilizations in human history. The pharaohs, seen as divine rulers, were not only the political leaders, but also the high priests, serving as intermediaries between the gods and the people. The Old Kingdom, often referred to as the Age of the Pyramids, saw the construction of the most iconic symbols of Egypt's grandeur, the pyramids. These massive tombs were built to ensure the pharaohs' safe passage into the afterlife, a belief that was central to Egyptian religion. The Great Pyramid of Giza, constructed for Pharaoh Khufu, is the most famous of these structures and remains one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world. But the Old Kingdom was not only a time of architectural marvels, it was also a period of economic prosperity and artistic achievement. However, this golden age came to an abrupt end around 2200 BCE, plunging Egypt into the First Intermediate Period, a time marked by political fragmentation and social upheaval. The collapse of the Old Kingdom is shrouded in mystery, but it is believed that a combination of factors, climate change, famine, and the breakdown of centralized power, led to its downfall. Egypt entered a dark age, with rival factions vying for control. The once unified kingdom splintered into smaller warring states, and the grandeur of the pharaohs seemed all but lost. But Egypt's story was far from over. Around 2050 BCE, a powerful ruler named Mentuhotep II emerged from Thebes, reunifying the country and ushering in the Middle Kingdom. This period was marked by a revival of arts, literature, and monumental building projects. The pharaohs of the Middle Kingdom expanded Egypt's borders and re-established trade networks, bringing wealth and stability back to the land. The Middle Kingdom eventually gave way to the New Kingdom, often referred to as the Empire Age, which began around 1550 BCE. This era saw Egypt reach the height of its power, with legendary pharaohs such as Hatshepsut, Akhenaten, and Ramses II leading the charge. Egypt's influence extended far beyond its borders, from Nubia in the south to the Levant in the north. The construction of grand temples, like Karnak and Abu Simbel, showcased the empire's wealth and power. Yet, even during this period of unparalleled success, cracks began to form in the foundations of the empire. Internal strife, religious upheaval, and external threats gradually weakened Egypt's grip on power. One of the most famous pharaohs, Tutankhamun, who ruled during the later part of the New Kingdom, is often remembered not for his achievements, but for the discovery of his nearly intact tomb, which offered a glimpse into the opulence of the time. As the New Kingdom drew to a close, Egypt faced invasions from the Sea Peoples, a mysterious confederation of naval raiders. The once mighty empire struggled to fend off these attacks, and by the time of the Third Intermediate Period, 1070-664 BCE, Egypt was a shadow of its former self. The centralized power of the pharaohs had eroded, and the country was divided among rival rulers. The final chapter of ancient Egypt's story came with the arrival of foreign conquerors. In 525 BCE, Egypt fell to the Persian Empire, marking the beginning of a series of foreign dominations. The Persians were followed by the Greeks, led by Alexander the Great, who founded the city of Alexandria and ushered in the Ptolemaic dynasty. Despite these changes, Egypt's cultural identity remained strong, even as it was absorbed into the Roman Empire in 30 BCE after the defeat of Cleopatra and Mark Antony. Though the ancient civilization of Egypt eventually faded from political power, its legacy has endured for thousands of years. The monumental architecture, rich mythology, and artistic achievements of the Egyptians continue to inspire awe and wonder to this day. From the grandeur of the pyramids to the mysteries of the pharaohs, Egypt's rise and fall remains one of the most captivating stories in human history. But is this what really happened? Some theorists suggest that the pyramids could date back to a period before the recognized history of ancient Egypt, possibly as far back as 10,000 BCE or earlier. This idea is often linked to the end of the last ice age and the Younger Dryas period, approximately 12,900 to 11,700 years ago, a time of significant climatic upheaval. Proponents of this theory argue that the sophistication of the pyramid's construction, particularly the Great Pyramid, suggests a level of technological capability that might not have been present during the Fourth Dynasty. They propose that an earlier, more advanced civilization could have built the pyramids, and that this civilization was lost to a cataclysmic event. Some researchers hypothesize that a massive flood, potentially caused by the sudden melting of glacial ice sheets at the end of the Younger Dryas, could have devastated this earlier civilization. This hypothesis is often linked to the idea of a great flood found in various mythologies around the world, including the story of Noah's Ark in the Bible and the Epic of Gilgamesh. Others suggest that a solar event, such as a coronal mass ejection or an asteroid impact, could have caused widespread destruction, leading to the loss of this advanced civilization and the subsequent misattribution of the pyramid's construction to the later dynastic Egyptians. Some alternative researchers point to geological evidence, such as water erosion patterns on the Sphinx, as potential indicators of a much older date for the monuments of Giza. This idea was popularized by geologist Robert Schoch, who proposed that the Sphinx might have been eroded by rainfall thousands of years before the recognized timeline of ancient Egypt. However, mainstream Egyptologists and archaeologists generally dismiss these theories, citing a lack of direct evidence linking the pyramids to a civilization predating the ancient Egyptians. They argue that the construction techniques, tools, and societal organization of the Old Kingdom are sufficient to explain the building of the pyramids. Were the pyramids built by the dynastic Egyptians, or were they built by a more ancient civilization that is lost to history due to widespread destruction on a global scale? A lot of people have their doubts about the Fourth Dynasty, Egyptians being able to build these monuments on this scale with the tools available to them, and the time frames to complete them. Another argument is that no other monuments have been built to this scale since. I think even after all these years later, we have more questions than we have answers for. So keep researching, keep asking questions. Someday, we might have the answers we are looking for. If you enjoyed this journey through ancient Egypt, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an adventure. There are countless more stories from history waiting to be told right here on Rest and Relax. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.